The world doesn't exist. So basically, if you're like watching television and you're reading about, you know, like a conflict, between like two nations in East Asia, like an island dispute, like how do you even know, first of all, that those nations exist, or at least exist in the way that the media is portraying them to you, or what, for whatever piece of media you're seeing that? How do you know? And how do you know that there's conflict there? You don't know unless you take an airplane over there yourself, walk in, see, and like, hey, there's no conflict going on. I'm here on, like, I don't know, Dokdo Island or wherever the conflict might be, and it's like, I'm gonna, there's nothing going on or something like that. So the conflict was all illusory, or like, let's say, like something like the war in Iraq, the war in Afghanistan, or anything like that. Like, you could go there and it's a completely different thing that's going on there, or that part of the world simply doesn't exist. And I mean, this has always been the case, that there have been people, I mean, I've seen like these crazy maps drawn up by these explorers and cartographers of the New World, that when they came to present it to, like, the royals or the nobles, whatever, and they would come to some noble and be like, hey, look, this is this map, and here we have this entire mountain range made of pure gold, or something like that. There was even an old map my grandmother had from the 1700s of America, and it said the West Coast was called the Alleged Coast. So, I mean, I was listening to the thing about Zach Voorhees. He was saying, like, Google's trying to sculpt their own version of reality on the internet, but it's like, yeah, unless you've literally, like, traveled the world, like Jonathan Pohl or something, you don't know. You don't know what's going on, really. You know, like every all like reality has been being sculpted for you since day one. Unless you've actually been there and seen it yourself, you're being fed some sort of image that will either be interpreted as by you, or in conveyance. And I mean, I was thinking, someone might say, oh, well, people were more trying to get at the truth back then. There's sort of like this luxury, like the luxury of deception, because people were actually, people were trying to navigate, burr, 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 but it's like, there's so many instances of, like, political cartography, like I was saying earlier, financially motivated stuff. It's interesting.